Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel. Alright, and so here it is, Galaxy Watch Design Studio. If I remember right, this is the 46mm version. As I said, this is the black one. On the top cover, it looks like this is probably the instruction manual or something. Let's see. Actually, it might be the charger too. This is just a little getting connected, quick start guide. You put this back in the box. Let's open it from the other side instead. I think this is the charger down here. Yep, got your charger. Throw this back in the box. And the band that I chose for it was the hybrid leather band. This one should be a black band. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's actually pretty nice. So this is the hybrid version. Feels like some kind of silicone on the bottom half. Can't tell if the top is textured silicone or if it actually is a hybrid and has leather in it. I can see it's got two different materials because I can see where it's mating right here. Now it says it's hybrid leather, so I'm assuming this top piece here is leather and the bottom piece is probably silicone. At least that's how it feels. Got a little empty bag. Oh, actually looks like there's little stickers in here for something. Here's the watch itself. Got the little sensor down here on the bottom. Here's the top. Let's go ahead and put these pieces on here. Okay, there goes one side. Wow, these things have become such a pain to install. They weren't so bad in the previous versions. The fit on these are a lot tighter than the previous ones were. There it goes. Well, I got the band on it. Looks pretty good, black on black. Let's see how much power remains on this. Let's go ahead and power it on. You do that by holding in on the upper top button. Just hold it in until it powers on. And it is not powering on, so I'm guessing that the battery is completely dead. So I'm gonna go ahead and charge this up first. Once it's done charging, then we'll go ahead and come back and try it again. Or at least I'll partially charge it if nothing else. All right, so I'll be back once it's charged up. All right, so I went ahead and charged up the battery. It turns out this thing was completely dead. Like so dead that it sat on the charger for a good minute before it even registered that it had no power in it. So I went ahead and charged it up to about 90%. So again, like I said, to power it on, you would just hold onto or press the upper button. Just hold that until it powers on. And there it goes. And while that is booting up, let's go ahead and go into the Samsung Gear app on my phone. Or the Samsung Wear app on the phone, that is. So I'm already synced. This one's already synced to an active 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a new device. You probably don't actually have to go through this kind of process if this is the first time hooking up a phone or a watch to the phone. But if you already have one, here's how you do it. So we're gonna click on Add New Device. At this point, it is scanning. This is actually already detecting the watch that it's already connected to it, which is the one I'm wearing. Okay, there we go. So now the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic just appeared. Let's go ahead and click on that. There you go, the two numbers are the same. Okay, it is now downloading the software on the phone so that it can sync to the Watch 4 Classic. Just privacy agreements, Google Terms of Service. It is now preparing the watch. Okay, so it's asking for my Google account. Go ahead and select one. I need to unlock it. So this is different from previous phones because of the fact that this watch is now a Google Wear type watch. Restoring backups, which is probably going to be looking for previous watches, which I should have a backup in here. There you go, it's asking me what to select. Let me see what we've got here available. Yeah, see, normally you'd be able to restore everything. However, as it mentions here, because the watch you selected uses a different operating system, some data, such as settings, can't be restored. And the thing is that previous watches before the Watch 4 uses the Tizen OS. Samsung is no longer using Tizen OS for their watches. So that's the reason why it's not accepting it. So in this case, I can restore the alarm. No apps, messages, phone, quick panel cannot be restored. Samsung Health, some settings can be restored, but not all. No faces, watch faces, widgets, or the world clock can be restored. Not really much, but I'll just go ahead and restore what it's allowing anyways. Okay, it's finishing up. Now, as I mentioned, the previous watches were Tizen OS, and this is actually the first Google Gear OS powered by Samsung. And unfortunately, you do lose the ability to restore some stuff. I'm kind of wondering if I can still use my old watch faces though, that I purchased with the Tizen OS versus all the new ones. I'm assuming I may not be able to get it, but we'll see. So now it wants us to go ahead and do a tour of the watch. Let's go ahead and start the tour. So swipe down from the top to open the quick panel. Swipe up to go back to the watch face. Swipe, for apps, swipe up from the bottom edge. Swipe down to go back from the watch face. That actually is pretty similar how the Samsung phones are. For notifications, swipe right. Swipe right from the edge to go back to the previous screen. Swipe left to go back to the watch face. For tiles, swipe left. Press the home key to go to this watch face from the any screen. That's this top one. That appears to be it. What it's saying here is that the dot that appears on the left hand side means you have a notification. So the controls now are different. If you're used to using one of the older Samsung watches, gear watches, whatever, it's now completely different. Normally you would press this button to get to the app screen, setting screens, which you can't do now. Now you just have to scroll up. It shows here you can reorder apps, touch and hold, then drag an app icon. But now here's all the apps. So this is completely different from the way it used to be. You can still rotate the bezel, so that's nice. Let's see, this used to take you home. Let me go into the settings real quick. So normally pressing this bottom would back you out of whatever screen you are and take you straight to the home. So I don't know if it still does that or not, but let's try. Okay, so that's just taking you back one screen. Let's see what this one does. Okay, so now the bottom one used to always take you back to the home screen no matter where you are. And the top one used to be just the back button. Now the top button is your home screen that takes you back to the watch face no matter where you are. And now the bottom one is going to be the screen that takes you back one. So that is going to take some getting used to. Oops. So it wants me to calibrate the compass. I accidentally hit the compass. All right, let's just go ahead and see if we can do that real quick. Okay, there's the compass. It looks like the screen auto dimmed on me. So right now it's set to raise wrist to wake, which I usually turn off just because of the fact that if I move my arm around, it always turns it on, which drains the battery faster. So I tend to set it so it always stays off unless I tell it to wake up. Usually I'll have the turn to bezel turned on. Touchscreen to wake I usually leave off just in case for accidental touches. And it used to be where the screen's off, you can still just hit the buttons to turn it on. That's normally how I'll do it. Show media controls, I'll just leave that off for now. Screen timeout, I change that to 1 minute for now. Touch sensitivity, I'll turn that up. See, I hit the top button expecting it to just go back when I ended up going all the way to the home screen. So this is going to take some practice, or yeah, take some getting used to. I'm going to adjust the brightness on this. I don't know why the brightness suddenly went all the way down for some reason. I'm assuming it was the auto brightness, but I should have brought it back up again, but it didn't. I usually have the always on display turned off again just for saving battery. Here from the battery screen, you can go power saving mode. Basically ways to save the battery life. Again, the bottom one is your back key. I'm going to go back again. Let's see what kind of apps we've got here. Oops. Health, messages. So you got Google Play now, which is something you didn't have on the previous ones. Maps, settings, compass. This looks like the EKG app if I remember right. Yep, Samsung Health Monitor to access sensor data about your vital signs. You gotta turn that on. Yep, so this is the ECG app. And you do need to have a matching app installed on the phone for this one. Let's see if it automatically turned it on this one or not. Okay, nope. So let's go ahead and open the app on the phone. Oop, it's not connected. So let's try to reconnect. Okay, there it goes. Let's go ahead and accept that. It's asking for permissions. It's wanting to make sure it can allow the Samsung Health Monitor to communicate with the Samsung Health app. I'll go ahead and allow that permission. Actually, I'm going to allow all permissions since it is a Samsung app. Now it wants my info. Let me go ahead and enter this in real quick. Okay, so here it is, the Samsung Health Monitor. What it's saying here is your Galaxy Watch can record and analyze your heart rhythm for the presence of atrial fibrillation, a type of irregular heart rhythm. So let's get started. Right here is just telling you how it works. It's telling you what the potential results will be: sinus rhythm, atrial fibrillation, inconclusive, poor recording. These are possible results here, as well as information on what each are. It's telling you what it cannot do and what not to use it for. It says here, do not use the ECG app if you have an implanted pacemaker, implanted cardiac defibrillator, or other implanted electronic devices, so keep that in mind. Some more things that you should know. It wants to know which wrist your watch is on. Since it's not on either right now, let me go ahead and swap out my watches here. So I think it's going to go ahead and run it real quick. So I've currently got it on the left wrist. So it's telling me to go ahead and open up the Samsung Health Monitor on the Galaxy Watch. So open that up. It's telling you to make sure the watch is snug. It's telling me to snug it on the left wrist because that's the wrist that I chose on here. Is it okay? What it wants to do is rest your finger lightly on the top of the button. What this one is saying is go ahead and rest your forearms on a table, lightly rest a fingertip on top button for 30 seconds. So let's go ahead and do it. Now what it did say is to make sure you wear your watch, I think it said 10 minutes or 30 minutes before doing this, which I didn't do. And that's it. It does have a little notice here saying that the app does not look for signs of a heart attack. So don't use this ECG monitor to try to determine if you're having a heart attack or not, because that's not what it does. It tells me what my average heartbeat was. It's asking me if I have any symptoms for anything in order to record it with the ECG. Hit done, and there it is, it's recorded now. And this one here, it's like you can just keep this on a regular basis so you get a little trend to see how it's doing. You can also share it with your doctors or whatever. But that's the ECG health monitor right there. Let's go back to the watch settings. Just like with the previous versions of the watch, you can control the watch from your phone. So here we can go with the watch settings, and here's all your settings for your watch, which now looks exactly like it does for the phone settings. Manage content, this is where you would be able to sync. You can add images, add music, watch software update. You can check here for updates or not. As I said, this is just a way to control it from your phone instead of trying to do everything on this tiny little screen here. And apparently I do have an update. So while it's downloading, let's see what else we got here. Accessibility, so you got talkback, mono audio, visibility enhancements, hearing enhancements, advanced features. You got an SOS here. You got a bedtime mode. So okay, good. You can change the home key, because right now press and hold sets to wake Bixby. You can set it so that it now powers off the watch. So that's good. You can set for the double press, goes to most recent app. The back key, short press goes to the previous screen. You can use gestures for answer calls or dismiss alerts and calls, remote connection. Got your notifications here, watch faces. Here is all the different watch faces that's available right now. There's just a bunch of watch faces that are available. I am really curious if any of my previous watch faces are usable on here or not. Now before, when you do get watch faces with previous versions of this watch, it would take you to the Galaxy store. Now it's taking you to the Google store. So I have a feeling that all of the watch faces that I have previously purchased on Galaxy, the Galaxy store is no longer usable. And now I have to repurchase everything all over again from the Google store by the looks of it. Well, that kind of sucks. You can customize the watch face. This is the one that's currently set up. As you can see, it's currently set up here, so you can change it, the backgrounds. I haven't saved it yet, so it hasn't pushed it over, but these are just options here. See, hit save, and there it is, it updated it. Go back to customize. Personally, I like the dark backgrounds. You can customize the hands, the little monogram, you can change that. You can change the weather to either do sunset, sunrise, or just the weather, or any of these here as well. Complication 3 is going to be this one right here with the picture of the foot, so you can change it to any of these as well. And 4, which is the very bottom one. Right now it's set to battery, but again, you got a whole list of things you can change it to. I'm actually going to leave all that the same. Let's go ahead and get out of watch faces. So you got app screen here. This is what it looks like on your watch as you scroll through the pages. Here you can do it from the watch, but you can also do it from here. Just if you want to rearrange these icons, put something more important on the top, the least used on the bottom, like what I usually do. You just press, hold the icon. At this point now I can move it around and put it wherever I want it to be. For now I'm just going to leave it where it was. This is exactly how you do it on the watch as well. You just press and hold. Tiles, these are the different screens when you swipe. These will be all the different screens that you see. From the watch you can change it, or you can change it from the phone. Obviously it'll probably be easier to do from the phone instead, and then just save it and let it move over to your watch. These are some of the tiles here that you can add to it. Let's go ahead and cancel out of that. And then you got your quick panel, which is the swipe down. So this is what's showing on the quick panel currently. You got 3 pages worth of stuff. You got 2 extra buttons on the bottom, the NFC and touch sensitivity. And if you don't want all these buttons on here, you can just press on the little minus on the upper right hand corner of each icon, and that will remove it. You can reorder this by touching it. Once it pops up in your finger, I don't know if you can see it there, but I'm moving the icon around so I can move it, rearrange the order for it from there. You can add to it as well, just by holding it down, and then I can add to it. And like if I let go, it'll drop it there. I'll just leave it out though. Let's cancel out of that. It says I've got an update, which I'll do later. We already saw the Find My Watch option. Okay, it says my software update is probably ready to go by now. Yep, it's ready, just waiting on an install now. A lot of these are going to be pretty much similar to what you're finding on the watches now that it's running the Wear OS. If you're familiar with the settings on the phone, the settings panel, most of this is going to be there, so don't really need to go over any of this. Here's a button to the store, and it takes you to the Google Play. And then it's taking you to the Play for the watch apps. Let's go back to the Samsung Wear. So that appears to be it. I mean, the biggest thing, here it is showing on my watch as well, telling me to install it now or later. The biggest thing is for the previous Samsung owners, you're going to have to get used to these 2 buttons being swapped around, as well as the new power off option on either swiping down to power it off or remapping this button back to the power off and away from the Bixby button. But other than that, this is a pretty nice watch. It's actually a beautiful watch. I've got a screen protector that I purchased for the previous generation of the Galaxy Watch. So here's a band that I bought for my previous Galaxy Watch. I believe this one was for the Galaxy Watch 1, 46 millimeter. Looks like it might fit, but as you can see how the new one, or this particular band, is designed so it actually goes right up against the watch itself. This band won't do that. It'll have a little bit of a gap, but it looks like it should fit. It was kind of a pain to put it on, but let's give it a try. It'll be nice if I can reuse all of my bands all over again. It would suck to have to rebuy all new bands. And it looks like, while it looks like it could fit, it actually cannot. The band is slightly bigger for the previous versions of the 46 millimeter versions. This band appears to be 1 millimeter too long, too wide I mean. So apparently it will not fit. Well, that kind of sucks because I've got a whole stack of replacement bands that I can no longer use now. For future reference, the wristband that comes with it is for the 46 millimeter is a 20 millimeter band. So got to keep that in mind. This may be a 22 millimeter band, I'm thinking. So let's see if my old screen protector will still fit this one or not. I'm not actually going to put it on here, just going to see if it actually fits. Okay, so at least the old screen protectors will still fit on the watch. So that is good. I will install this one a little bit later. So keep that in mind. Any of your previous screen protectors for the older Galaxy watches, like this one was for the original Galaxy Watch 46 millimeter version, that still does fit on it. See, the original one is 22 millimeters, and this one is now 20 millimeters for the new one. Despite the fact that the watch face is both 46 millimeters, they reduced the size of the bands. So I will keep these anyways, just in case. Maybe they'll go back to 22 millimeters again in the future. But this is, again, this is the first one that they've switched it for the 46 millimeters where it's not fully backward compatible with previous accessories. At least the screen protector does still work, but the bands no longer work. Although, like I said, this is a really nice band. I do like that it's silicone on the bottom so I can wear it while exercising without worry about ruining the band or anything. And the top, I do believe the top is leather from the looks of it. Alright, well this has been an unboxing as well as a setup of the new Galaxy Watch 4. This is the Classic edition. You can tell that because it has the rotating bezel, while the regular Galaxy 4 does not have this bezel. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great day and y'all stay safe out there.